Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and decided to get out of the house and make my way down to Stampede Park to take a look at the old Stampede Corral that is being demolished as of this recording, as it's been almost a year since I've been on Stampede Park, with the restrictions of the COVID-19, but I gotta say goodbye to the old Stampede Corral, even though its heyday was before my time, but it's been interesting to check this place out. And with the games in back in the day, with the Centennials, the Wranglers, and the Calgary Cowboys, and heck, even the Calgary Flames. Briefly called this place home when they moved from the land before the Saddledome was built. But here's one last look at the mural. It's still up and alive right now. But as we know, the Stampede Corral is being demolished for the expansion of the BMO Centre. So if you pan around, as you can see, if you're familiar with Stampede Park and the going to the Saddledome, for me going from the C train, there is no plus 15 here anymore. That has all been gone. So you have to walk down to the park and go all the way around. And here we're heading over to the Scotiabank Saddledome, where the Calgary Flames play right now. And I'll just walk over, but you can see where the plus 15 entrance is. I already took a picture of it, but you can see that it's all, you see doors just floating in the middle of nowhere. And the other thing that's also very interesting is you can tell it's weathered. It was protected from the elements. As you can see, it's a little more redder in the, I'm just trying to record as I'm walking here, but you can see it's a little redder. But yeah, this is the Scotiabank Saddledome, all closed off right now due to COVID-19, as Flames are playing with no fans, as well as any other NHL teams. But let's have to take a look and reminisce that this whole area is going to change for the Calgary Stampede. And this will be the first part of the video that I'll take a look at this side of the corral. But on the other side, you can definitely see the demolition is going. So I'll get out of this clip and I'll capture some more footage where the demolition is actually happening. But nice to see the mural for one last time. Well, here we are, a different view of the Stampede Corral being demolished as of this post from Stampede Park. As you can definitely see, part of the BMO Centre expansion is that whole A is now torn down, and as you can see, the entrance of the Stampede Corral is starting to be torn down as of this right now. Just think, a couple years ago, I definitely took in the Calgary Hitmen Corral Series because we knew that this building was slated for demolition. I mean, it's been 70 years since it was constructed and opened for business back in 1950. So yeah, you could see the old Stampede Corral at the time when it was built. It was the largest arena west of Toronto, so there's some perspective right there. But here's the old Stampede Corral. Still, the structure is standing, but its phase are final. And you can pan over, and here is the Scotiabank Saddledome, where now that building is going to probably likely be slated for demolition, as the new event center is going to be starting construction actually later this year, August 2021. So maybe I'll make a few trips down and make some more videos and pictures when that starts get going, and definitely looking forward to see the new home of the Calgary Flames. But this is definitely a sign of a generation turning on, because it's definitely, I'm even feeling a little sad seeing this building going, even though I'm aware of the history, especially if you look at my Remember the Calgary Series videos, where I talked about teams that played in this building before the Scotiabank Saddledome, or then when it was originally called the Olympic Saddledome, when it was first built for the 1988 Winter Olympics, and then it was renamed the Canadian Airlines Saddledome, the Penguin Saddledome, and now the Scotiabank Saddledome. And as I say, that building is definitely one of the oldest active arenas in the NHL, and I'm going to be sad to know when that building goes as well, because I have lots of memories there as well. It's just that unique saddle shape, but unfortunately the lower roof makes it tougher for getting modern day concerts, and the fact that if you look at the modern NHL arenas now, we have a much lower bowl, which yes, you're close to the action, but there's less luxury boxes. But this is just another view of the Stampede Corral as well as some of the BMO Centre being expanded or demolished right now for the expansion. So I'll take a look at this view, and then I'll have one more view to look where you can actually see the guts inside of the Stampede Corral and the structure of it. It gives you an idea. It just has that old school barn feeling, but you know, just think a couple years ago I was watching the Calgary Hitmen Corral Series, and it was definitely a little reminiscent that we know that this building is gone. And I'll share one more story when I get to the other view where you can see looking in of the demolition of the Stampede Corral. That was just before my time. That a funny story that my mother likes to share. So we'll stay tuned to that. I'll take a few more pictures and I'll share. But yeah, as a last point out before I move on, take another view. Yeah, you can definitely don't see that plus 15 anymore, because going back to the Victoria Park Stampede station, usually you walk through inside the BMO Centre, which is where it cuts through, and then you have the plus 15 that you walk all the way down. You can walk outside the side of the Stampede Corral and eventually to that door, as I mentioned, that door right about there. As you can kind of see, it's a little red because it was weathered away, but I guess if we're assuming COVID ever ends and I get to go back and do some events again, as I said, Scotiabank Saddledome won't have as much of a sheltered walk from the train station to the Saddledome, but I mean, it's still cold either way, but it's nice to have that shelter. But that's all part of the construction, so we'll have one more view and we'll recap saying goodbye to the Stampede Corral. So we'll see you in that clip. After taking a few more pictures, I actually was walking over, and what inspired me is that we're looking at approximately where I took those last 3 games in the Calgary Hitmen Corral Series, as I was sitting in the back row, which was row 19 on the north side, where you can kind of see those press boxes. But that's where I caught the last 3 games when the Calgary Hitmen were rebranded as the Calgary Centennials, the Calgary Cowboys, and the Calgary Wranglers for the Hitmen Corral Series a couple years ago this time. And you also know that the obvious thing that's missing is that horse. You don't see that horse anymore because that is long gone, but thankfully I took a picture of that before as part of the Calgary Hitmen Corral Series. But this was just an inspiration when I walked over here to figure I'll capture this video as well. But I have one more view I want to take, and I'll talk about a story that my mother likes to share when I was in her room when she took in that game right here at the Stampede Corral when the Calgary Flames were in town and involved one famous player. So we'll stay tuned for that, and I'll enjoy a few more pictures. Well, here's the last view that I have of the Stampede Corral. As you can definitely see, kind of the guts and the structure of the building, where I'm able to take it in as safely as possible. I know over here there was a door, and I thought there was a clear door. I was like, hey, I can get a nice view, but apparently when I first walked there it was open, but now I see it's closed. And I'm gonna obviously respect the rules and not trespass, but as you can see, you can definitely see the guts of the Stampede Corral right now. And Hall A was also right here as well. As you can see, you still got Hall B right here, which is the main entrance into the BMO Centre if you're walking down from Stampede Park. And you can pan over, you can see that famous entrance. Hopefully this July 2021 will be here for real and going off from the Victoria Park Stampede station. So if I ever get to go to the Saddledome anytime soon, I'm gonna have to walk down this way and go all the way around to go into the front of the Saddledome. As we're playing, we'll see some Canada geese. Go Canada. But this is definitely what has changed around Stampede Park. But I've taken some pictures that you could see outside of the renderings. But the one story that my mother has that she likes to share sometimes at family gatherings, that this would have to be the 1981-1982 Calgary Flames season, because I was not born yet. I was born in June 1982. She likes to share a story with when she was at the Stampede Corral. For a Calgary Flames game, we would have to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers, because at that time, the Edmonton Oilers had this guy named Wayne Gretzky. You might have heard him, and the other day he had his 60th birthday, so I'll say happy birthday, but he definitely was going through the emotions of going through the game. Because how the story goes is that what's interesting with the Stampede Corral that definitely will not work today in the NHL, not only because of the size, but all the the guts, the bowels of the arena. Well, the arena is all inside the concourse, because you can look at high five the players and as they go onto the ice. And it was normal that the Calgary Flames, or whoever the opposition was at the time that was playing the Calgary Flames, or any other team, going back to the Cowboys, Centennials, and Wranglers, they walked through the concourse. But then one time I was in a room at the time, and she was in the concourse at the Corral, and then apparently she likes to say it that there was a couple of people that pushed her to the back of the wall while I was in a room, so she can have a whining Wayne Gretzky run to the locker room. You must not have been happy how that game went. So that's an interesting story, that apparently I was close to Wayne Gretzky in my mother's womb, that he was all distraught and had to go cry to the Edmonton Oilers locker room. We always like to pound on Edmonton. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for watching. I had to come down to the grounds. I have seen progress photos from various Facebook groups about sharing Calgary's history, but I just had to take it in myself and say goodbye, and looking back at all the teams from the Remember The Calgary Series as well, that even though that, I wish I could have gone back in time and see this building in its heyday, because basically after when the Calgary Flames moved out to play into their primary home at the Saddledome, this building wasn't used much, because I always remember going here for stampedes, for dog shows, or any other special events. Obviously I had to do the Calgary Hitmen Corral Series just to see hockey in this building, because I don't remember watching much hockey in this building, and obviously the history predates me. But I wish I would have gone back in time and see this building in its heyday, because a lot of the pictures that was in the lobby that I tried to take pictures of, I got to move out because of the sun rocking out behind the the Coke stage. But hopefully, they said that they have the originals preserved. There were duplicates that were around at the Stampede Corral. They obviously took a look, and there was a lot of interesting events that went in here for sure. There were some big name concerts. Apparently in 1980, if I believe, the Briar, before it became a spectacle it is right now, the curling event, was also in this building. And I think it was 1976, if don't quote me on that, we did host the Memorial Cup. So the Memorial Cup was also played in here. And then I guess going back to when the Calgary Flames moved here from Atlanta in their first season, we made it all the way to the conference championship, so we went to the third round. So the Calgary Flames made it to the third round, and bowed out to the Minnesota North Stars at that time, although we at least won that game at home, so we didn't lose at home. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot of interesting events. It was I mentioned earlier in the video, the biggest arena west of Toronto at the time when it was built. But unfortunately it's time to move on, build a new BMO Centre expansion. We definitely need a bigger convention center, but this is the price you got to pay, and it just was no longer practical to keep this building running. So even someone like myself is aware of the history of this building. I definitely feel a little sad to see it go, but I understand the decision as well. But it is what it is. So anyways, I always like to say in my videos, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel, and here's some live Calgary sports in action, talking about sports in the past, as well as my Remember the Calgary Series. But I also do personal vlogs, attempt to comedy, and I also do share my experience when I'm on the road or a sporting event. So I'm kind of mashing some of this all in at the same time, so it all sounds like it'd be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey. You know what you do, just make sure you like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below, and I think I'll share some of the pictures that I collected in this video as well on my Instagram. So yeah, I'm going to say so long, goodbye, Calgary Stampede Corral. We're going to miss you after being a part of Calgary's history, sports history, as well as pop culture history for over 70 years. And you know, this will be preparing me for what sounds like plans will be in the future, that I'll have to say goodbye to the Saddledome whenever we decide to do that. But hopefully whenever we get this new event center up and running, which is supposed to be for the 2024-25 season, by then we'll have the new BMO Centre expansion done, and assuming all this BS with COVID is gone, we can once again go back and gather and do what we did before. And hopefully, I'm praying that July 2021 I'll be back here for the Calgary Stampede, because we definitely missed it in 2020, but it still won't be the same. But yeah, let's just pan around one more time. As you can see, yep, here's the famous skyline. I gotta walk a little so I can get the tower in. It's still one of the iconic buildings in Calgary. But yeah, so long, Calgary Stampede Corral. We're definitely going to see a lot less of you in the future, but I hear they're preserving some of the you know, murals and that as well in the somewhere. So thanks for watching, and see you next video.